Is the storm gathering over the real estate market, threatening to unleash a deluge that could dwarf the 2008 financial meltdown? This is the question on the minds of many as we observe the warning signs being flagged by investing legends Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. They caution us of a tempest on the horizon, one fueled by rising interest rates that are making it increasingly expensive to borrow money for real estate ventures. Now, let's delve a little deeper into what this means. As borrowing for real estate becomes pricier, the bubble that has been steadily inflating in the market begins to wobble. And if this bubble were to burst, the fallout could be immense. It's not just about property prices plummeting, the potential repercussions would ripple through the economy. We're talking about commercial properties ending up in foreclosure, a situation that spells disaster for the small regional banks that make most of these commercial real estate loans. These are the institutions that could bear the brunt of the losses should the storm hit as hard as predicted. But the damage wouldn't stop there. The fallout from a real estate market crash would likely impact the broader economy. Think about the small and medium-sized businesses that rely heavily on these small banks for loans. If the banks are hit, these businesses would have a harder time accessing capital. The result? A slowdown in economic growth, a chilling effect that would be felt far and wide. The precise path of this storm remains unclear. We don't yet know how it will all play out. But one thing is for sure, as pointed out by Buffett's business partner, Charlie Munger, there is going to be a lot of pain, and it will be concentrated in the commercial real estate market. The small banks that make most of the commercial real estate loans will be the ones to suffer the most. So it appears we're on the brink of a significant storm. But who will bear the brunt of it? The answer to that question remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the storm is gathering and we should all be prepared for what it may bring. To understand the impending storm, let's take a trip down the memory lane to the year 2008. A year of chaos and financial turmoil where the collapse of the housing bubble led to the infamous subprime mortgage crisis, and the world was plunged into a global financial meltdown. Back then, banks and financial institutions played a critical role. They were the puppet masters, pulling the strings of the economy, and when they faltered, the world trembled. The housing market was a mess, and the repercussions were felt far and wide. The domino effect of the subprime mortgage crisis led to the collapse of major financial institutions, the bailout of banks by national governments, and downturns in stock markets around the world. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing haunting echoes of that year. The real estate market is once again under immense pressure. But this time, it's not just about housing, it's about commercial properties too. The whispers of a bubble are getting louder, and the spectre of 2008 looms ominously over us. However, there are differences. We have the gift of hindsight. We've seen the devastation that can be wrought when a bubble bursts, and we've seen the damage done by bad loans and overvalued properties. We've seen the impact on everyday people, on businesses, on the economy as a whole. The role of banks and financial institutions is once again under the spotlight. Their actions, their decisions, their strategies could very well determine whether we're headed for another meltdown, but this time they too have the lessons of the past to guide them. So here's the million-dollar question. Are we destined to relive the horrors of 2008? Or can we steer the ship away from the iceberg? The pain, according to Charlie Munger, will be concentrated in the commercial real estate market. But why is that? A confluence of factors has placed the commercial real estate market in a precarious position. Let's delve into the heart of this conundrum. The first challenge is high vacancy rates. With the rise of remote work trends, office buildings, shopping centers, and other commercial properties are seeing less foot traffic than ever before. Then there's the issue of distressed loans. As property prices decline, financial institutions are left holding on to a significant amount of what Munger refers to as bad loans. These are loans that are at high risk of default, and they pose a serious threat to the stability of the banking sector. Now let's consider the potential for a banking crisis. Major banks, including Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Citibank, have collectively set aside nearly $63 billion in provisions to protect against loan losses. This isn't a move that banks make lightly. It's a clear sign that they're bracing for an impact. But what could this mean for the broader economy? Well, if banks are hit hard by this crisis, they'll likely tighten their lending standards. This could make it harder for small and medium-sized businesses to access the capital they need to grow and thrive. And let's not forget about the potential fallout from foreclosures. As commercial properties go under, the banks that made the loans for those properties will bear the brunt of the losses. And it's the smaller regional banks that are most exposed to this risk. These banks are a lifeline for many local economies, so their downfall could have far-reaching effects. So, what's the bottom line? The commercial real estate market is facing a storm of challenges, and it's unclear how or when the dust will settle. But one thing is clear, there's a lot of pain on the horizon, and it's going to be concentrated in the commercial real estate market. The commercial real estate market is in hot water, and it seems the kettle is about to whistle. When a stone is thrown into a pond, the ripples spread outwards. Could the real estate storm create such global ripples? Let's delve into this possibility. The potential global impact of a US real estate market crash is a topic often discussed in hushed tones, but one that we can't ignore. It's a domino effect, a chain reaction that could shake the very foundations of the global economy. Jeremy Grantham, renowned British investor and financial historian, has presented some thought-provoking views on this. He draws our attention to the unaffordability of housing, an issue exacerbated by rising interest rates and stagnant wages. This is a global problem, not confined to any one country. Consider Australia and Canada, where the average home price is now several times the median household income. This, Grantham argues, is simply unsustainable. Comparing the real estate market to the stock market, Grantham notes that changes in economic conditions take longer to reflect in property prices, but when they do, the adjustment can be sharp and severe. He predicts that home prices could tumble by as much as 30% in some markets. Imagine the shockwaves such a drastic fall could send through the global economy. It's not just about homeowners and property investors. It's about the banks that lent the money, the businesses that rely on those banks, the employees of those businesses, and so on. The ripple effect would touch every corner of the globe. As we stand on the precipice of this potential storm, we must remember that the global economy is interconnected. A crash in the US real estate market isn't just an American problem, it's a global one. It's a ripple that could turn into a wave, affecting us all. The stone is in the air, and the pond is bracing for impact. Let's hope for a pebble rather than a boulder. So, what have we learned from our exploration of the impending real estate storm? We've delved deep into the cautions expressed by the seasoned investors Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. They've warned us of the upcoming tempest in the real estate market, propelled by rising interest rates and a potential bubble burst. We've also examined the commercial real estate conundrum, highlighting the likely pain points. Our discussion revealed that small regional banks, the key lenders for commercial real estate, may bear the brunt of the burden. Foreclosures could surge, and these banks may face a significant loss. Moreover, we've understood the potential ripple effects on the broader economy. Small and medium-sized businesses, heavily reliant on these smaller banks, may struggle to access capital, potentially slowing economic growth. And let's not forget Jeremy Grantham's prediction, highlighting the potential of a global economic effect due to a correction in the real estate market. The storm may be coming, but forewarned is forearmed. Stay prepared, stay vigilant, and remember every cloud has a silver lining.